Tonight, is a historic U.S. Iran deal just days away? Welcome back. Tonight, a major development is unfolding in the Middle East, and if current negotiations succeed, it could become one of the most significant foreign policy stories of the year. Multiple reports now indicate that the United States and Iran may be closer than ever to reaching an agreement aimed at ending months of escalating tensions, reopening critical global shipping routes, and potentially addressing concerns over Iran's nuclear program. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi publicly stated Friday that a memorandum of understanding between Washington and Tehran has never been closer. Similar signals have come from U.S. officials who say negotiations have made substantial progress in recent days. But before anyone starts celebrating, there is one important fact viewers need to understand. No final agreement has been officially signed yet, and in the Middle East, deals that appear close can still fall apart at the last minute. So tonight, we're breaking down what we know, what remains uncertain, and why the entire world is watching these negotiations. Let's get into it. For months, tensions between the United States, Iran, and regional allies have pushed the Middle East toward a dangerous confrontation. Military exchanges, threats to international shipping, energy market disruptions, and growing fears about Iran's nuclear capabilities have created one of the most volatile geopolitical environments in years. The situation became especially serious around the Strait of Hormuz. For those unfamiliar, the Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important waterways on Earth. Roughly 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes through this narrow shipping corridor. When tensions rise there, global energy markets react almost immediately. Gas prices, shipping costs, inflation concerns, and stock markets all feel the impact. That is why investors, governments, and military leaders across the world are paying such close attention to these negotiations. According to several reports, one of the major objectives of the proposed agreement is ensuring the continued flow of commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. If successful, that could reduce uncertainty in global energy markets and help stabilize oil prices. In fact, oil prices moved lower this week as investors reacted to reports suggesting a deal may be approaching. But shipping isn't the only issue on the table. The biggest question remains Iran's nuclear program. For decades, U.S. administrations from both parties have sought to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. American officials have repeatedly argued that a nuclear-armed Iran would dramatically increase instability across the region and could trigger a broader arms race in the Middle East. Recent reports suggest negotiators have been discussing the future of Iran's enriched uranium stockpiles and additional oversight measures designed to ensure compliance. Sources familiar with the talks indicate that nuclear material disposal and verification mechanisms have become central components of the discussions. However, the exact details remain confidential and have not been fully released to the public. That uncertainty has created intense debate in Washington. Supporters of diplomacy argue that a negotiated settlement offers the best chance to reduce the risk of war while preventing further escalation. Critics, meanwhile, remain deeply skeptical. Many point to previous agreements with Iran and argue that enforcement mechanisms must be extremely strong if any deal is going to succeed. Some lawmakers are already demanding full transparency before supporting any future agreement. Meanwhile, political pressure is building on both sides. President Donald Trump has publicly signaled optimism about the negotiations, while also warning that Iran must meet its commitments. Iranian officials have expressed similar optimism, but have emphasized that discussions are still ongoing. In other words, both sides appear to be sending positive signals while carefully protecting their negotiating positions. That's often what happens during the final stages of high-stakes diplomacy. Neither side wants to appear weak, neither side wants to make concessions publicly, and neither side wants to create expectations that cannot be fulfilled. That's why analysts caution against assuming a breakthrough is guaranteed. There are still significant obstacles that could derail progress. Regional security concerns remain unresolved. Questions about enforcement remain unresolved, and hardliners on all sides remain capable of disrupting momentum. Still, there is a growing sense among diplomats that a unique opportunity may exist. One factor helping drive negotiations is economic reality. Iran's economy has faced years of sanctions pressure. Meanwhile, global energy markets continue to deal with uncertainty caused by regional instability. A durable agreement could potentially create economic benefits for multiple countries throughout the region. Historically, increased economic cooperation has often reduced incentives for military conflict. That doesn't guarantee peace, but it can create stronger incentives for stability. Another major factor is international pressure. Countries throughout Europe, Asia, and the Gulf region have a strong interest in preventing another large-scale conflict in the Middle East. Many governments are encouraging both Washington and Tehran to find a diplomatic solution before tensions spiral again. And that's why the world is paying attention to every headline, every statement, and every rumor coming out of these talks. Financial markets certainly are. This week alone, oil traders reacted immediately to reports suggesting progress. Investors appear to believe that even a partial agreement could reduce the risk of supply disruptions and improve stability across global energy markets. But there is another reason this story matters. The outcome could shape U.S. foreign policy for years. If a deal is finalized and successfully implemented, supporters will likely describe it as a major diplomatic achievement. If negotiations collapse, critics will argue that the warning signs were visible all along. Either way, the consequences extend far beyond Washington and Tehran. The future of regional security, global energy markets, nuclear non-proliferation efforts, international trade routes, all of those issues are connected to what happens next. So where do things stand right now? Based on the latest reporting, negotiators appear closer than they have been in months. Public statements from both American and Iranian officials suggest meaningful progress has been made. However, key details remain unresolved, and no final agreement has been officially completed. That means the coming days could be crucial. A breakthrough remains possible, a delay remains possible, and a collapse cannot be ruled out. For now, the world waits. One thing is certain, the next chapter of this story could have major consequences for the Middle East, global energy markets, and international security. We'll continue monitoring every development and bring you the latest updates as they happen. If you found this report informative, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with us for continuing coverage of this developing story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next report.
2 a.m. Yeah, I'm wide awake, scrolling through every move you make. You said I'm fine, yeah, classic you, but I know that line ain't ever true. Got your hoodie still in my room, smells like a cheap cologne perfume. Tryna act like I don't care, but your ghost is everywhere. You say we're good, but we're not the same. Now I'm dancing in the pouring rain. Thought we were forever, guess I was wrong. Now I'm just another sad love song. You left me on red, yeah, no reply. Got me overthinking every night. Was it real or just a vibe? Guess I'll never know this time. You said ride or die, then you dipped so fast. Now I'm stuck living in the past. Yeah, you played me like a game instead. Now I'm crying cause you left me on red. Cause you left me on red. Your playlist still got my name, but you don't feel the same. That's insane. Posting pics like you're okay while I'm breaking every single day. You said no drama, no goodbyes, but you vanished like a lullaby. Now I'm staring at my screen like, what did you really mean? Every text I never sent, every word I still regret. You moved on like nothing's wrong while I'm stuck inside this song. You left me on red, yeah, no reply. Got me overthinking every night. Was it real or just a vibe? Guess I'll never know this time. You said ride or die, then you dipped so fast. Now I'm stuck living in the past. Yeah, you played me like a game instead. Now I'm crying cause you left me on red. Maybe I was just a phase, just a spark that fades away. But you were my whole damn sky. Now I'm learning how to say goodbye. Yeah, I'm done with your mix signals. Your late night, I miss your riddles. You lost me, yeah, that's your loss. Now I'm stronger, I'm my own boss. You left me on red, but now I'm fine. Got my heart back, yeah, it's mine. Wasn't love just a disguise? Now I see through all your lies. You said ride or die, but I survived. Now I'm finally feeling alive. Yeah, you broke